What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mo Money School, the school that teaches you everything that the school system should have taught you. I'm your professor, Chris Mo. For today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is your paycheck, the thing that you be getting every 2 weeks, maybe once a month or every week, the thing that gets you paid, the thing that you have to use to buy things. You have to know how you're getting paid in order for you to reach that financial independence level. If you don't understand how you're getting paid, then how are you ever going to be able to invest that money? How are you ever going to be able to see what's actually going into your pocket? We have to understand this. Again, this school, I've made it so you understand the basics. If you don't understand the basics, you won't be able to understand anything advanced. You have to get this right now. That way it all makes sense. I've designed this course to make you an independent thinker, where I just teach you the basics and you can come up to your own conclusions. So without further ado, let's get started. So for this video, we're gonna keep it basic. I'm gonna just teach you the fundamentals of how to read your paycheck. What's on it? Why is it important? One of the first things that come up on your paycheck is your gross pay. Now, your gross pay tells you exactly how much your employer is paying you, how much they're paying you by hourly. Majority of us are paid either hourly, commission, bonuses, tips. All of that, you're gonna find it in the first section. Your gross pay is anything that you're being paid before taxes, before any deductions. This is what you're supposedly making. For example, if you're getting paid $15 an hour and you work 30 hours, that's $450 that should be in your paycheck. The reason why this is important is because you want to know if you're getting paid right. On one section, your paycheck is going to tell you how much exactly you're getting paid during that period. Right next to it, majority of you are going to have a section that tells you year to date. Year to date, how much you've gotten paid since that time, since that whole entire year. You want to be able to check both sides, because on one side, it tells you exactly how much you should be paid for that specific period. And on the other side, it's going to tell you how much you accumulate. With this, you're able to keep track of how much you make on a yearly basis. On another section of your paycheck, you're going to be taking off what we call taxes, deductions. When it comes to taxes, there's 3 to 4 different taxes that you may or may not have to pay. The first tax that we have to pay is our federal income tax. The federal income tax is money that we pay to the country. We have to pay our due diligence to the country. Another tax that we have to pay is our state income tax. Some of us may not have to pay our state income tax, depending on where you live. I live in California. California is one of the most expensive states that you have to pay income tax. There's other states where you have to pay no income tax whatsoever, like Florida. Florida doesn't have to pay any income tax whatsoever. And then another section that we have to pay in our taxes is called the FICA. FICA is the Federal Contribution Act. It was an act passed by Congress for people to go ahead and help the country out when it came to Medicare and Social Security. Medicare and Social Security are other taxes that are taken from hardworking people to go ahead and pay for these programs. But why is it that taxes have to be taken away from our paycheck? Why is it that we can't just keep our gross pay? The reason why taxes were implemented by the government is because the government can't trust us. They can't trust you and I. Because, as I mentioned before, we like to spend money. We don't think about our future consequences. All we really think about is having that gratification now. If it wasn't for taxes, majority of us will spend our gross pay. And when it came to tax season, which is every year round, we wouldn't have the money to pay for our tax bills. So how it all correlates is you get your gross pay, and from your gross pay, the government gets a piece of it first. And then from there, you get to do whatever it is you want from that. The reason why the government did this is because they don't trust you and me. They don't trust you and me to go ahead and be able to separate our pay and pay for schools, roads, or anything that needs service. The government does this to go ahead and pay for programs that need to be supported. Programs that need to be supported by every human being. After we pay Uncle Sam, we're gonna have to pay other deductions. Some of us, when we're employed, our employer may have benefits for us. They're gonna offer us medical insurance, health insurance, life insurance. Some of us may be contributing to other plans, such as a health plan, a savings plan, or a retirement account. After you get your gross pay, you're gonna get deducted your taxes, then you're gonna be deducted anything else that you're paying towards too. These plans are usually something that's gonna benefit you. They already took off their taxes, so the rest of the money that you're contributing to has other tax benefits for you. These are plans that the government has allowed for you to take a part of. Now, not all of us can contribute to these plans. Majority of people just invented their retirement account. So you'll have gross pay, you'll have tax, and then you'll have any other deductions. This is how your paycheck works. Everybody's getting paid before you. And at the very least, you're gonna have your net pay. Your net pay is money that you're keeping. The net pay is after you paid everything. That's what you're keeping. This is the most important part. The most important part when it comes to money, when it comes to investing your money, is exactly how much you keep. Your net pay is really, really important. The reason why it's so important is because that's the money, that's the number that you have to take into account when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to spending on things, when it comes to investing in your future. Doesn't matter about your taxes, doesn't matter about your deductions. All that is gonna be gone. The only thing that you have to work with is your net pay. For most people, you get paid an hourly rate. For those people, you're gonna know your net pay all the time. And once you start moving up in the world, once you start getting a better job, you'll have more deductions, you'll have a higher pay. But your net pay is still always gonna be the same. Even if you're on a salary, you know exactly how much you're gonna be making every single month. The only few people that don't know their net pay is people like me. People who are self-employed, people who are working on a 1099, people who work off commissions. My pay is never gonna be the same as everybody else because my pay can go up and down. Other people's pay is always gonna stay the same, which is why I tell people, look, if you already know how much money you're bringing in, why not use that as a benefit for you? Why not use that as a positive for you? Use that to determine your future expenses, determine how much you have to save now, and determine whether you have to go ahead and move out of a job and get paid more. Your net pay is really all that matters. Forget everything in your paycheck. What you bring in is all that matters. Because if you're bringing in almost nothing, before you start investing, before you start thinking about your future, the very first thing that you need to start thinking about is increasing your income. You have to increase your income before you start investing. Your net pay has to be enough to cover everything else. You cannot just be working a minimum wage job and expect to invest and expect to have a great future. No, you cannot do this financial independence working a minimum wage job. You have to figure out a way to increase your net pay. Why is it important to keep track of your paycheck? Why is it important of how much hours you put in and how much you get paid? Because it's your money. If you don't care about your money, then nobody's gonna care. You think your company cares about your money? No. They're gonna pay you whatever it is they think is right. If you don't keep track of your stuff, they're gonna pay you whatever it is that they want. You wanna make sure that you're getting paid right on time. Because this is actually gonna hurt you when it comes to taxes. We all have to do taxes every single year. And if our company is reporting one certain number and we're reporting another number, there's a conflict of interest. Somebody's messing up. We may have to pay that year or we may not. We have to keep track of this paycheck. And for people like me, 1099 employees, we want to make sure exactly that we're getting paid the correct amount because we want to lower our taxes. We don't like to pay taxes. And for those of you that are getting paid wrong, dude, don't trust your company. Don't trust the company who you work for. Keep track of your own hours. Make sure that you're getting paid for the right amount of work that you're putting in. And if you're not, contact HR, human resources. Make sure that they know what's going on. Because you need to make sure that you're getting paid for the amount of hours that you get paid. People just look at the net pay. You have to look at everything else because everything correlates. Yes, your net pay is all that matters. But one of the things that's not included into your paycheck, which I think should be included into your paycheck, is paying yourself. Majority of us don't pay ourselves. Looking at our paychecks, we pay this, we pay that, we pay everybody else but ourselves. When it comes to my paycheck, the first person I pay is I pay myself. I pay myself 10% of whatever I make. Majority of us pay Uncle Sam, pay our plan that we're subscribed to, pay our bills, pay literally everything but ourselves. And this goes back to the very first video that I talked to you guys about. You have to be able to pay yourself first. This paycheck is just showing you all the many ways that you're paying everybody else but yourself. Stop paying everybody else. Pay yourself first. Make that a habit, because it's your money at the end of the day. Nobody else cares. Nobody else cares about you. The only person that's gonna care about your money is yourself. As I mentioned before, this class, this course that I'm creating for everybody, I'm just creating it so I can make independent thinkers. I want people to look at the basics, look at the facts, and make their own financial decisions. Looking at the paycheck and analyzing it, seeing where money actually goes is going to help you determine where you're going to be making your money in the future. Determine whether you're actually worth the money that you're making. You have to look at the problem. Look at the problem so we can get to the solution. If none of us really focus at our paycheck, then all we're really living by is day by day. You have to know where your money's going at. By knowing where your money's going to, you're able to make the right financial decisions. Now, this video, I made it really basic. I made it where I just go over the simple structure of what consists in a paycheck. In the next video, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about each little detail. I plan on doing taxes first, because taxes is something that none of us understand, but we know we have to pay. Taxes, for the majority of us who don't know, is just money being sent to the government. Money that we're never gonna see. If we're able to hack that and put it back into our pocket, then that's something that's beneficial, because the most important thing is our net pay, how much money we're bringing in. You have to be able to understand your paycheck if you want to know how to reach financial independence. You have to know where your money's going. Besides that, guys, if you love today's video and you haven't done so already, go ahead and enroll into my class by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification button. That way you're alerted whenever I upload a new video. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and smash the like button so you can help me out with the YouTube algorithm and we can get more people enrolled into Mo Money School. And if you want to go ahead and see more of me, you can follow me on my Instagram, follow me on my Twitter, riseandgrind.mo. I also have another channel which I post pretty much once a month called Chris Mo's Journey, where I give you an update about what's going on. But besides that, guys, I really hope you learned something new today and you're able to take a look at your paycheck and see exactly where your money's going at. But besides that, guys, class is dismissed.